What up, Flamettes? Come on in the room.
Wishful thinking?
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. Come on in, y'all. Come on in before we even introduce y'all. Well, y'all come on in for... what show is this?
This is Laugh and Learn.
Laugh and
with
Learn.
Flame Monroe.
With Flame. And new fans.
Yes, come on.
Y'all see the new fans? Y'all see the new fans that came in? Do your job, player. Do your job, player. What else we got on here? You take one.
Okay, because I have to open the too.
What
does this say? Ain't shit wrong with me. I just look like this.
I just look like this.
Got it in your head.
That's
Sorry.
okay. I ain't feel it. Look, what about that one?
Can't no bitch do what I do.
That's the one right there, y'all. And we have a he, she, we fan here. You open
Okay.
the he, she, we. The fans are in, y'all. I'm not shipping them out, so don't start asking. You can meet me in Chicago on September the 6th for the white party.
Oh,
and you can get a fan.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh,
That's pretty.
Look, pretty.
Here, there we go.
Ooh,
there we go.
Pretty.
All right, oops, this is backwards.
Oh, I'm a backwards queen, so yeah. Pretty. Look, pretty.
Yes.
Pretty. Do your job, player. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us here today at Laugh and Learn. I am your host, Flame Monroe. This is my partner, Lauren Hogan. And we appreciate you guys. We have our camera guy, Kendall, here, too, because Kendall going to eat some oxtails with us later.
You made oxtails?
LB made oxtails.
Oh, you didn't tell me, though. Shit.
Yes, I did. I told you.
I'm going to eat an oxtail when this show is over, let me tell you.
Actually, they were very tasty, too. See, I'm a good teacher.
Wow.
Speaking of teaching, thank you guys for joining us today. It has been a week, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a weekend, let me say that. And it ain't even got started yet. We'll get to that conversation later.
I'll just say peace and blessings that you made it back on time.
Oh, my God. Because Henry wasn't playing with y'all.
Listen, I had to send Flame some very mean emojis yesterday because she was playing with my emotions in terms of the time over the weekend, and she didn't even have a gummy, but was acting like she was with the Lord. So.
I was definitely with God, but I wasn't with God. I was talking to him, but I wasn't sitting with him.
She got some gun and knives emojis from me this weekend, y'all.
So New York, I went to New York. So my purpose for going to New York was to go to Ida Rodriguez's, who's my girl from They Ready. She taped her 1 hour special for HBO, and I promised her I would be there. So that was my purpose for going. Just other things arisen while I was there, which were great. We think. So, but I am glad to be home. Thank you, Henry, for letting me out. Lauren, how was your week? Did you go to Atlanta?
No. Thankfully, actually, I was supposed to go to Jackson, Mississippi this Thursday because we were going to do this big concert with one of the radio stations there for my other job. And basically, we decided to cancel it because of all the COVID numbers. Like, Mississippi is the worst state right now. So we just kind of made the executive decision. It wasn't safe. And so I get to stay here for another 2 weeks.
Which will segue us into our first conversation that today the FDA approved the vaccine.
For Pfizer.
So the FDA, now it is FDA approved. Will that change some minds? Possibly even mine. Possibly even mine. Because now I feel like, you know what? Maybe now they got it right. So I'm still teeter-tottering. But at least now I feel, now I feel a little safer that it's been FDA approved.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it.
But I think that you've come a long way to even be considering it. Because we've had a lot of conversations about this. And, you don't want to see me?
I do want to see you. What I don't have is my real glasses. I left my glasses in the house. So I can't see none of the comments.
But no, what I'm saying is I think that it's a good thing, that you're even still considering it. Because we've had lots of conversations just about, you got some type of protection is better than none. And, you would hate for something to happen to family members, which is why I got it in the first place.
Well, so. I'm 70 COVID tests in as of, when did we take the Breakfast Club? Friday?
Yeah. So
as of Friday, I just had my 70th COVID test.
Yep.
70, and I had to pay for that one. And I'm negative still. And I'm having another one on Wednesday because this Friday.
What are you doing on Friday?
We will be on TBS Friday Night Vibes with Tiffany Haddish and Dion Cole. So I'm going to wear a gown for y'all Friday. Give it to y'all. I'm going to give it to y'all. So we're going to get to this FDA approved. I love the fact that they moving so quick to try to get this done so more people can get vaccinated, because it's coming down to you're going to have to be vaccinated in order to do anything. They had restaurants in New York when I was there that I couldn't go in because I didn't have a vaccine card.
Same thing in New Orleans too. And who would have thought New Orleans would be one of the first states?
Yeah.
Or cities, I should say.
So it's changing, y'all. The world is changing. You have to have that card. That card gonna be like, "Go, I'm gonna have me a new joke." Cause Angela Yee's like, "Flame, you got to have a vaccine card in order to get in here and get in there." I said, "Girl, I know people." She said, "No, you have to have a card." I said, "Girl, I got fake titties. You think I can't get a fake card?" I don't have one. I was just making a joke. You have to watch that interview tomorrow. We're gonna get to that because you know that's the meat of the show. Right now, we're just giving you the veggies.
So, but let's kind of start with something that happened this weekend that I know is all in the blogs, all in the news, is Sha'Carri Richardson. You know, she ran the 100 meter in the Prefontaine race, and she finished in 9th.
It was 9 runners?
I believe so, yes.
And she finished dead last?
She finished dead last. Yeah.
Wow. That goes to show you that you only as good as your last show.
Well, this is what I would say, is I know a lot of people online are coming for her, and we're not going to sit up here and act like she hasn't made some very obnoxious comments, whether it was, you know, what she said about Lil Nas X, basically saying, if you follow him, just unfollow me now. And I just think that she's very young. She got a lot of, you know, of a spotlight put on her at such a young age, and she's getting so much scrutiny. You don't always really know how to respond to it. So I think that she's made some, you know, egotistical comments, but overall, you know, she basically congratulated the runners and said, you know, this is not going to be my last, you know, race by any means, and it's a learning experience, and she's kind of, you know, chalking it up to say, I'll be back and I'll be doing better. So I think she was humbled by this, and maybe she kind of needed to be humbled a little bit.
Yeah. And
that way she can just kind of practice humility going forward.
Well, isn't that kind of like what we said about the baby last week, that she needs somebody around her as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you're good, when you're fantastic, and she is a fantastic runner.
Yeah.
But you have to have a sportsmanship. You have to have somebody in your head to keep you grounded, be like, yep, you are the greatest. But you can't keep believing that you're the greatest, that nobody else will be as great as you, because that's when shit gets cloudy and you get misjudged and you mess up.
Yeah. So, like, I just think, you know, she was humble.
Because 9th place, woo, that was dead last, and she was winning everything.
Yeah, and, you know, it's just...
she had some of that heavy weed that day. She had some heavy weed. It slowed her down.
I think it was very embarrassing for her. But like I said, I think she's taken it as a learning lesson. And she even apologized for the initial comments she made after the race. And came back and said, this is what I meant to say. And I think just by her doing that is showing that she's been humbled and she understands that she needs to practice some humility.
And will we accept her apology? Yes.
Absolutely.
We will accept.
Absolutely.
I think that as a people, black, white, brown, or indifferent, that we need to accept apologies from everyone, because you're going to make a mistake. You're not perfect. You're going to make a mistake, and that you're going to need to apologize for. Should I make plenty of them? I'm going to make one this morning.
But like you said, I think she needs somebody in her corner. I mean, maybe not a publicist, but just somebody that has some sense of how, you know, PR works, so that way they can kind of say, hey, stay off Twitter, or hey, you don't need to be saying this, you know. So, but it's definitely, you can see it's been a learning process for her, and she's kind of figuring this out for herself, which is kind of sad, you know.
And we all. Good God. Yeah, it is definitely a life lesson. And thank God that they're not just canceling everything, you know, because she made some outrageous statements.
Oh, no, they're coming for her. Let's be clear. They are coming for her.
Well.
So, which I don't think is cool either. We shouldn't be beaten down, you know, especially she's so young. And the internet, you know, is a foul place. It really is.
If you're going to reprimand, don't reprimand without teaching. That's all I'm saying. You're going to reprimand me and teach me so that I don't make the same mistake again. Now, you know they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I may not be an old dog, but I'm damn sure a medium cat. Lauren, it is so let me give y'all the good news.
Oh yeah.
Before we get there. Okay. So thank you. Oh my God, thank you, Kendall, because I am blind as a bat.
I can't see nothing.
I ain't seen it. I can't even see my hair. Okay, there it is. So we were re-signed by iHeart and the Black Effect Network and Charlemagne the God to another year of Laugh and Learn. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We are going to get a facelift. We're going in a different direction. We made some changes. It'll come down the line later. But I think it's the new show, the new format that we have, I think it's going to catapult us. into something else. And the Black Effect Network has just acquired a YouTube page, so to help with our publicity.
And a PR.
And our PR. And they got a publicist. So I think things, and Charlamagne hired me for his new show on Comedy Central. So I'm excited about that. Executive produced by Stephen Colbert. I'm moving in different spaces and different places, and yeah. So
well, to that, you said too that you want to make sure, because we're switching kind of from the politics avenue that we're in, so you kind of want the Flamettes to chime in and say what they would be interested in.
Yeah, we want to know what you guys would like to see from us.
Yeah.
Because we're going in a different direction. I don't want to do gossip, but we would like to talk about regular topics. And we will still do politics. You cannot get away from politics if you're woke and grown in this society. But we want to know what you guys would like to see from us. What kind of show would you all like to see? Yeah, so we're looking forward to that, and we're going to keep it moving. And we just want to tell everybody thank you for making the show successful. We appreciate it. We appreciate iHeart giving us another year, because this was our building year. This was our growing year. Absolutely. So now we're going to another year. We're going to go in a different direction. I think it's going to be great.
I agree. I'm excited.
You can put your suggestions, Bobby. You can send it to me, or you can put them on here. We're gonna do a thing, because we're gonna look at it.
Yeah, or you guys can send me a DM, or same. You can even send Flame the DM. I'll look at it. So, because Flame doesn't really look at her DMs, but for sure.
Unless you're cute. Look at that. Look at that. What else were we talking about, Lauren?
So you want to get into the nitty gritty of everything? You want to let's talk about it?
We might as well. That's what they want. That's what they all want to hear.
So first and foremost, I know initially Flame's interview of the Breakfast Club was supposed to come out this morning. However, anybody that has a tablet currently sees that her photo of her and Boosie has now gone viral, and the blogs are in an uproar about it. So due to that, the interview has been delayed a day. It's going to come out tomorrow. But you can see part of the interview that Flame did with Boosie. It's up on YouTube on the Breakfast Club's channel right now. So this part of the show is going to turn into, I'm going to basically be interviewing Flame. I'm really going to be a troll at this point of the interview. Kendall, I don't know if you could put like some devil horns on me or something. But I'm going to turn into a troll.
Oh.
And we're going to have a very, very open and honest conversation, and we'll bring in the Flamettes as well. To kind of sound off, and you guys can obviously be in the comments as well. So let's talk about Lil Boosie. Boosie. So to start with, why do you like this man so much?
Because I like his realness. I like that he is authentically who he is. Okay. He's very genuine. And as a parent, as a dad, I watch how he raised his sons on what he shows us on social media. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a little abstract for some people, but he is who he is. And his kids are not hungry. His kids are not homeless. His kids don't look broke down. He is there. He's hands-on. And you might not like the way he raised his children, but that's not your call to make. That's his call, because those are his children. He's still right there. It's a lot of dads who don't speak like Boosie speak, who not in the limelight, who are wealthy and don't spend no time with their children. He is there with his children. I appreciate him for that. I like his rap, and that, when I was a young girl, nigga was my get down. But when I didn't know that he was going to be at the Breakfast Club. Mm-hmm. So when he walked in the room, we had to get a COVID test. So when he walked in the room, I fucking screamed. Like, oh my God, Boosie! I fanned out. I screamed like the last sissy, y'all. I did. I promise you I did. Because if you're a Flamette and you follow me, you hear me always talk about Lil Boosie, that I like Lil Boosie. I like what he represents as far as that part. Of course he says some things that are extreme that I'm like, oh, dude, that ain't cool. But who am I to say what he can and cannot say? Like he said, he his own man. He make his own money. He do his own thing. And he was respectful to me. Understand that I don't know how he treated nobody else. He was respectful to me. If you watch the interview, he called me she. He was respectful. He said, I fucks with Flame. He was cool because I didn't come in with a combative energy. I came in like a fan and what's up, Boosie? I greeted him like a grown up because he is a grown man, and I'm grown. I had to kiss that. I forgot I had this wig on.
So I hear you say, and I could understand that and even kind of agree and say that, we have no say in how Boosie raises his kids. But I think the issue is when you see some of the things that he said about his kids and how there's a very biased view between son and daughter, which is very normal. I'm not about to sit up here and say that that's
I'm sexist all the way when it comes to my son and my daughter.
My dad is too. Most men are.
Yeah.
But I think the issue comes in is when, you know, the topics of, oh, he's, you know, providing his son with prostitutes and making these very misogynistic comments. And at the end of the day, he's still a public figure, and he's supposed to be, you know, presenting this certain image, quote unquote. So why are you still kind of okay with that aspect of it? Even, and you're a dad too. So touch on that part. So
when he first talked about maybe a year or so ago that he took his son to an older woman to have sex with, I don't know if she was a prostitute or not. She could, but he said an older woman. He paid her. So, but when he broke it down and explained it on the Breakfast Club, I completely understood, because the son is 16 years old. He was already having sex, or was about to have sex, or whatever. He had already experienced some things. Is exactly what Boosie said.
Yeah.
And he took him to somebody that was older and experienced, so it wasn't uncomfortable. When he explained it, Lauren, I got it. Okay. Do you know what I mean? When I first read it or heard it, I didn't get it. But when he explained it to me on the Breakfast Club, I was like, oh, you know what? That you took the time to break it down to explain it to me, I understand. Do I agree with it completely? Absolutely not. But at least I took the time to listen, to understand. And that's where we keep getting lost at, because we just hit the trigger words and want to fight and argue. I thought he was a good egg. I thought his energy was good. And that's very true. It's a different generation. And he's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He was raised there. Their raising of their children is very different from us. But it was okay. I thought he was okay, because he explained it in a way that another parent, especially a dad who has a son who wants him to have a good sexual experience his first time, could understand. I know that sounds a little far-fetched, but if you're not a parent or a dad, you might not understand it. And that's all I'm saying. I'm on that one. But I thought he, and I know he is who he is. You know what I respect about him the most? He knows who he is. He knows. It might be for better or for worse, but it's so many people who look more successful than him in life and working in corporate America or the suits and whatever, that don't even know who they are in politics. They don't even know. He knows who he is. And he accepts it and he embraces it. And that's all. And the only way we're going to ever mend between the heterosexual community and the gay community, even with some of the shit that extreme shit that Boosie has said in the past, and probably will say again, if we don't sit down and talk to each other and listen to each other, it ain't gonna never get fixed.
So, and I know that you never want to be like a spokesperson for the LGBTQ community, just because your community is in opposition a lot of times with you. But what do you say to the homophobic comments that he has made, whether it was towards Lil Nas X or just gay people in general, and you do identify as trans? Like, what do you say to that?
Well, I would say that I probably had a view of him that was differently until I met him personally.
Okay.
His publicist was Twinkle Toes gay. He said somebody else that worked on his team was gay. So it's not that he has an issue with gay people. He has an issue with some things that he sees that happens in the gay community, and he just voices his opinion. Now, sometimes it's not warranted, but should we all voice an opinion that's sometimes not warranted, myself included.
Let me play devil's advocate, though. I told you I'm going to be a troll today. That's my role.
Security.
So, but you saying, though, that he has, like, you know, a gay manager and a gay assistant. What's the difference between when white folks say, I'm not racist, I got a black friend? You see how that can kind of be viewed the same way?
I do, but that's also comparing gay to the black struggle.
Okay.
So, and I never, you know, that's the thing of mine. We don't compare gay to the black struggle, because the black struggle will always supersede the gay struggle.
Well, I'm saying in principle. Don't look at it so black and white as the gay versus the black struggle. I'm talking about from a principle standpoint. It looks like he's trying to say, I can't be homophobic because, look, I got a gay assistant and a gay manager, so how can I be homophobic?
Well, I don't know. I just, you know what, Lauren? Because maybe I'm old school, I treat people the way that they treat me. I walked in the room, he came in the room, and let me tell y'all something. So when he came, and I don't want to tell y'all this, but I'm going to tell y'all anyway. So when he came in the room, I was so excited, but I had to remember that I remembered his comments. I remember some of his views that he have said publicly. So I wanted to take a picture with Boosie because I'm a fan of Boosie's, and that's what y'all have to understand. I am a fan of Boosie. So I went to his manager who was standing on the other side of the room. I said, do you think he would mind if I take a picture with him? He heard me asking the man. He said, I'm right here, baby. You can take a picture with me. I was like, oh, really? Because I didn't want to invade his personal space. I didn't know how he really felt, you know. I didn't get any negative energy from him, but I didn't want to invade his space, and he'd be like, I don't want this drag queen pushing all up on me. So he's like, come take the picture. So when we went to take the picture, Lauren, we were as far apart as these two curtains. Okay. I purposely stood away from him because I didn't want to be up on his personal space. And the public was like, get closer, get closer. I was like, oh, no, I'm okay. Boosie put his arm around me and pulled me close. Said, come on, baby. He said, oh, you smell good. Very comfortable. And if you look at the picture, you'll see he's smiling just as big as I am. Yeah. I didn't make him uncomfortable. He wasn't. Okay. If I would have felt that like I made him uncomfortable, I would have pulled back. Okay. Even though my pullout game ain't what it used to be, but I would have pulled back. But he didn't make me feel uncomfortable. He made me feel, you know, just like a regular person. And I talked to him like a regular person.
Well, what do you say to? Because I mean, you guys kind of touched on it, but there's a common thread in the comments, I guess you can call it, that's saying that you are a pick-me, and I didn't know what the hell that meant. By the way,
I don't know what it is. What is a pick-me? So, Mark told us what a pick-me was.
Mark. Okay, let me grab Mark so he can.
I'm a pick-me.
Break it down so it can forever and consistently.
I'm not a tranny. They say I'm not a tranny. I'm a pick-me.
Because I'm Mark. What the hell is a pick-me?
Why don't you ask him that, Lauren? They attempted to make it a read, but a pick-me is somebody who's essentially always seeking validation or approval from a certain demographic, meanwhile shitting on their own, right? So it's someone who's like desperate. For instance, they're trying to say Flame's always seeking out heterosexual men because that's the audience that she wants to target.
So you're an attention whore.
Right. But if I showed y'all my DMs, I showed y'all who's seeking out me. Ooh.
Right. So what they're saying is that she's like she's sacrificing her values or character just to get a little bit of acceptance, which is not true because her rhetoric hasn't changed, right?
Interesting.
So it was a failed attempt at a read.
Oh, because that's what was in the comments.
Almost like a yes man?
Essentially, right.
Okay.
I took it as an attention whore. That's what it sounds like. Like you just love attention.
Do I love attention?
Yeah, but I think with them trying to say that, Flame sacrifices, the community just to level herself up. You know what I mean? It's like whatever a different community is saying, because she and everybody recognizes that she can cross barriers and communities. Now it's been labeled as a pick-me. Some of the stuff people make up to say is really stupid to me. You know what I mean? And if none of these people are licensed, and it's always somebody that nobody pay attention to, want to tell you what you are. You know what I mean?
What they're mad at is that they picked Flame and they didn't pick their go-to.
Right. They don't even get asked questions at the office. Somebody is telling them what to do. And all of a sudden, it's like, well, this is what I think you are. I think you're Candace Owens of the community.
Yes.
Look,
ouch. Look, ouch.
But I have to give credit where credit is due. That was damn good. That was damn good. And I didn't have to get Mark to tell me what the hell they meant. But again, I think that is so sad. So sad that you're trying to fix the fragments in your community while you're trying to hurt someone of your community.
Well,
I don't even want everybody like me.
Yeah, here's the kicker. I really did not. I'm not going to tell y'all what the interview is, but when you see the interview, I think some of y'all are going to be pleasantly surprised because y'all judging me off of a picture. You haven't even seen the interview. And when you watch, when they brought me in with Boosie and I discussed his daughter, if his daughter was to marry one, and I boxed him in to be like, you're gonna love your daughter more than you're gonna hate what she becomes, because it's the truth as a parent, as a dad. But they don't want to hear that. They just saw that I took a picture with this guy who they think is a homophobe, and they just lost their mind. And it's fine. Lose your damn mind, because my man ain't going nowhere.
You know, like I said, I don't know much about him, but I did watch the interview. And to be honest, to me, I mean, I think he's ignorant. But I also, at the same time, I think he's just very old school and conservative in a lot of thoughts. And you're not going to change someone's mentality overnight. So the more he's introduced to people like you and is around people like you to where he can hear bits and pieces, because y'all boxed him in a little bit. He said he likes girl-on-girl action, but when it comes to men, it's opposite. So he already is starting to realize, okay, you know what? They kind of fucked my head up right there with that. Right. So the more he's around people like you and people give him the space to say what he wants to say, but also learn and remove some of that ignorance, he will come around. And maybe he won't, but it's not our place to force our agenda or what we think is right.
Don't say that, Mark. Good God.
Yeah, that's some of that Baton Rouge, and no disrespect whatsoever at all. But that's some, Baton Rouge still floating in him. And I like to see the mix. I like to see the growth in people as well. Right. You know what I mean?
And really, it comes down to, in my opinion, I think he's a real, and this is no shade at all, I think he's really the example of toxic masculinity in a way, right? It's with a lot of the heterosexual men, that's their thought process, but it's something that is almost common. And again, the more we allow them in our spaces and the more we allow to have that conversation, eventually they will come around. And if they don't, and you have a problem with it, guess what? Don't support Boosie. I don't even know a Boosie song. I'm not bothered by it.
Well, let me ask the question to Lauren, y'all. Hold on. So, Lauren, you've been working with me for more than a year. To 2 years. 2 years.
Since what, 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years.
And what do you always call me?
Oh, very true. You were an anomaly. And I have said this before, I will reiterate it. I have never met a trans person like Flame. And I work for the largest ASO, which is an AIDS service organization in the world. In the world, okay? We are in 45 countries globally, 16 states domestically. And we have a specific affinity group called Flux. And it is all trans people of the trans experience. That's who we work with. And it's a very extremely different experience working with that affinity group and working with Flame. I've never met someone of trans experience that has the same thought process as you, the same ideals, or even just prioritizes certain topics like you do.
Do you think I'm fair?
Very.
That's all I want to be. I just want to be fair to people because I want people to be fair to me.
Yeah.
But
I think you're very
fair.
What
I appreciate about you, Lauren, is that you don't try to invalidate Flame's experience or her opinions. And what happened yesterday, what we saw, was someone trying to, don't come to Flame and ask Flame about this or that when they're just trying to promote a show. It's like, so you're saying that Flame's opinion is not valid? No, there is space for everybody. And until we get out of this headspace of entitlement in the community, feeling like we're entitled to something or that our way is the way, we're never going to change. And it's bizarre that so many of those fans and followers, they are not able to think and articulate their own thoughts or positions. They just hear what they think sounds good and they get behind it. But really,
you're a trailblazer. And because you're comfortable with who you are, you don't mind speaking it. And that's a good thing in all of us. You know what I mean?
And more people will come out with your same sort of thinking because you have created a comfortable space for them to feel that they can come out and say what they want to say.
But with that, your growth in your community is going to come with growing pains for you. Now, it doesn't seem like you're bothered because you do well with keeping yourself surrounded. But I think part of the problem is that if you would put on like lipstick around here and exaggerate buffoonery, you would be more respected. But because you're smart, just like
not respected, just further along in my career as far as stature look, because I don't even know if they respect that goonery. It's just a novelty. I don't never want to be labeled as a novelty.
Well, you know what, earlier
Anomaly.
on, I think
it
was mixed up how to accept people. So people were trying to get in anyway. And there's still some buffoonery right there in the community because they think that's what folks want. People have changed their imageries because of the sisters now saying, hey, that's not my get down. I have a talent. I have a craft. I am this person. And so I think that's what all the craziness is for. I mean, everybody can get up and storm, you know, when there's an emotional issue. I take no grand, you know, gestures or posture at anyone who says, you know, up with the people. Well, what you've been doing for the people every damn day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to sit on a hot button, you know, and act like you're getting ready to touch it, you know, on issues, I don't even like people, reactionary people around me because it stunts my growth, you know? So I think that's what you're faced with because you're not dumb. Because the young lady yesterday, she came as a mouthpiece. You know what I mean? And they, you know, she was sent by the best, and that's fine. It just isn't what it has to be. I mean, hell, everybody sitting in church don't agree with one another. You can go to your house and everybody's not going to agree inside your damn house. So why in the hell are they forcing you or trying to force you to be a mouthpiece for the whole community?
Well, I think that's one thing to note. Well, a couple of things I want to just kind of highlight what you said, TTG, and to back up a little bit. Regarding Boosie and him being from Baton Rouge, I just want to make it very blatant and very clear. There is a lot of stigma throughout the South, from Alabama to Mississippi, because it's interesting now that, you know, certain, you know, LGBTQ and ASOs are really being called into these areas to provide education because there's such a huge lack. And it's really sad to see that a lot of people still think that, like, you just simple things like you could get HIV from sitting on a toilet. Like, those are still things that people think are really real. So when it comes to the LGBTQ community and issues around, you know, trans experience and gay people, it's just, there's so much stigma and ignorance that it's like, in my mind, it's like I can't even expect anything else. And it's really sad to say that. The only other thing that I want to say is, can you just provide some more context to the female that you're talking about in terms of the interview, just so that people know what you're talking about?
It would have been
Hope Giselle.
Hope Giselle. I always call her Giselle, but it's Hope Giselle. That interview,
with
Cassie,
Gay Magazine.
Thank you again for sharing that with me. I was familiar with her because of her role that she plays. You have to be careful when you label yourself activist. And you have to be careful, like I have to be careful, who we send to speak for us. Because I do think she was sent. I do think that because Flame had the same ear for her as she had for Boosie, she let her talk. And they had an exchange. But when she brought up past interviews to say, oh, I didn't get you on my other dialogue, what about this? But when you did that interview, who cares? They invited her. And it was a lot of people that were like, yeah, Flame, you're right. But she wanted to bring this up as something that she had a problem with. Like, who said you're going to be the mouthpiece?
Well,
and I hope no one said I was going to be the ear.
Well, I will say this. If you guys want to look at the interview, it's on Gay Magazine's Instagram. I think it's literally the first post, and you can go and look at it. But just so we can set the record straight and break it down so it can forever and consistently be broke. Flame.
Okay.
How do you identify? Are you a spokesperson? Who are you in the community or not in the community?
Okay, so that's a good question, Lauren.
Ooh,
so
Lauren, I love you for that.
I am a trans woman for more than 35 years. But y'all love to say I'm a drag queen. A lot of y'all have done no research on me. Y'all have seen me because I have become popular in the last 2 or 3 years. But I've been in the game for 30 years. I've been this same Flame, same dialect, same way of thinking, same traction for 30, but you all just didn't know who I was. And now that I got a little shine and y'all see me in the forefront, I'm expected to be this super advocate. Woo, woo, woo. I support my trans sisters. And when you watch the interview, you will see that which side of history do you want to be on? Do I want to be on the side where you angry and disgruntled because you can't go to a bathroom or they didn't get your pronoun right or you can't get this? Or do I want to be on the positive side of we are moving in spaces and capacities that we have never had in our lifetimes? We have a state senator. We have actresses. MJ Rodriguez has broken the glass ceiling by being nominated as the first female actress of transgender experience in a major role. Whether she wins or not, we have won. I don't see the glass half empty. I see the glass half full. The choice of what you see is on you. You cannot live your life through me. I can't live my life through nobody else. I'm upheld women's rights. I upheld trans women's rights. I'm for my sisters when it's a good thing. But when it's some bullshit, I ain't with the bullshit. And I'm not going to fight over the bullshit.
And let's just stop making everything a social justice issue or a controversy. If you need a paycheck, go to Flame and say, Flame, can you help me out and get an opportunity? But stop
Absolutely not.
Controversy.
Absolutely not.
Stop. Listen, but you know my point. If someone wants to get on a platform, hey, Flame, is there any way you can at least just make a connection for me? But don't try to create controversy because you need a paycheck and that's how you get your money.
Well, I think the second or third show we did for Laugh and Learn was called Pick Your Battles. Wasn't it, Lauren?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm a strong believer in whatever you invite into your DNA will be in your DNA. I don't invite bullshit into my DNA. Some things I just don't even want to know about. If it's insignificant to me, there's no need for me to talk about it. If I saw one of my trans sisters getting whooped on the street, I'm going to pull out my shit and bust that nigga in the head, whoever he is, because that's my trans sister, whether she started the fight or not. But if it's some bullshit and she didn't kick it off and woo, 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 I'm not going to put myself in harm's way or in jeopardy, because a lot of times we walk around disgruntled and combative and angry and argumentative. I'm not like that. I don't want to fight. I want people to get along. The only way we ever going to make other people comfortable around us is us being comfortable with who we are and walking in that room and with your head held high and feeling comfortable enough, and they can feel your energy. Energy is transferable. Yeah. If you walk in a good mood, they're going to get that good mood. If you walk in shitty, they're going to feel that shitty, and they're going to get away from you because it's never going to work. I don't walk in shitty. I walk in bubbly. And hear me when I tell you, wait a minute, Mark, hear me when I tell y'all thought that Boosie was this and this. If Boosie had a boxed me in, me and Boosie would have went at it. Understand me. ANS is rule number 4 to being a flamette. That is, ain't never scared. Me and Boosie would have had words, but there was no need to have words because I've expressed this many, many times to you all. I don't demand your respect. I command your respect. The way I treat me is how you will treat me, or you will get dealt with.
I bet you did not walk in the room saying, I'm she, or walk in, please pronounce me as this or that. You carried yourself in a way to where he naturally saw that, and that's how you presented yourself, and that's how he respected you. I feel like a lot of times it's insecurities within a lot of people where they feel like they have to, that gives them validation, is when someone addresses them as she. He's going to naturally do that if you present yourself that way. So a lot of stuff is just
he saw these titties, baby. He saw these titties, hand on the choice.
No, what I will say though is part 2, one your point, Flame and Mark's, is with in my own experience dealing, with the trans community. One, I will say that there is a very serious heightened level of sensitivity when it comes to dealing with the trans community, and I wish that it wasn't there, because sometimes it feels like you're walking on eggshells. Now, mind you, I absolutely think however you want to be identified as, that should be respected, and that's how people should address you. Absolutely, wholeheartedly. It's important because that's how you identify. However, to Flame's point, to have these conversations and to really make progress and move forward, there has to be, y'all can't be on defense all the time. Now, mind you, I understand that trauma has been experienced and everything else, but guess what? I'm Black too. We could probably relate on a lot of the trauma issues. So at the end of the day, I think that there needs to be some type of woosah before we can actually have these conversations. Otherwise, we're not going to move forward. And that's what I appreciate about you, is that you never come into a situation being combative. You're coming to actually have a productive conversation. And that's why I said in a lot of ways, you're an anomaly.
Well, to be fair, for most trans men and trans women, if you make them comfortable, if you put them in a space of comfortability, most trans men and trans women love to share their stories. Yeah. But you can't come at them sideways and oh, I know you're a woman, but but she looking like so as a trans man, he looks like a man, but you know he's actually underneath biologically a woman, and you come and say, oh, girl. You already made them uncomfortable. But if you put them in a space of safety and comfortable and say, hey, what's your name? Your name Lauren? Oh, my God. And you say, I'm a trans woman. You say, oh, my God. Tell me about that. Yeah. Most trans people are so transparent that they will share their story. But if you make me feel uncomfortable, we immediately go to the defense because we have lived our lives on the defense, mostly with our family, with our friends, because we have come out as transgender.
And I think, too, there's so much still that needs to still be learned. Like, when I tell y'all a month ago I learned something new, is that there are trans women now that are identifying as being heterosexual women. I had no idea that was even a thing. But again, education. Things are changing so much. Like in your day,
me and TT Jan had a pause.
Seriously, I did the same thing. I did the same thing, but I didn't know that that's how the trans community is evolving. Now, Flame, in your heyday, don't sip the water. In your heyday, was that even a thing? There's just so much to learn still.
So here's the kicker. Now let's just say this. So you say trans women have decided identified
trans women have now identified as heterosexual women.
So I ain't the only one that likes some pussy. Is that what it is? Because that's exactly what it is. I ain't the only one that likes some pussy. And that's all. And I know I said it as simple as I could, but that's what it is. That is what it is. You just want to live and present yourself as a woman. But if you still enjoy the company of an anatomy of a female, then that's okay. That is what a he, she, we is. You can identify as what you want, but what you like is what you like. That's it.
It's only going to be one or the other.
The stick or the stone. The stick or the stone. And people love to holler, I got both, but then the dick too small and the coochie too big. Real talk. Because if you got both, the penis always about this big. Real talk.
But I'm saying all this to say is I just think it's important, especially now because things are ever evolving and changing, is that we can't come into situations combative because there's so much information that's changing every day that if we're going to make each other feel comfortable, we got to be willing to have the conversation
and talk to each other. And I'm telling you, you're not going to agree with. I don't fucking agree with everything that Boosie said. I don't agree with everything that he said on the show. But that was his understand that when they called me in my head, thank you for the compliment on being experienced and older. That was his interview. That was not my interview. I had already taped my interview. They called me into his, so I wasn't going to come into his interview and dominate his interview. First of all, ain't nobody going to dominate nothing over Boosie, because Boosie going to get his point across. Real talk. That nigga going to say what he got to say. But that was not my position to come in to dominate. And now, if it was a one-on-one exchange interview with me and Boosie, we probably would have exchanged heat, high, low, in between, but we would have listened to each other. And when Boosie talked, I shut the fuck up and let him speak. Just like when I was speaking, he was quiet and respectful and let me get my point across. We so quick to cut each other off when we hear a word that shake us. One word. Oh, trans. Oh, so you don't like trans. No, that you didn't even let the nigga finish his statement. I'm not for the argument. I don't want the pushback and I don't want the fight. I want to work. I want my children to be safe and happy. I like the home that I live in. And yep, I like my checks.
And Lauren, to your point about the labeling, the young lady yesterday made a comment about people are just lazy. Not necessarily that people are lazy. It's really a lot. Me and Bobby were just having a conversation about what the IA means. I didn't even know, and it's not because I'm lazy. It's just because, like, okay, I didn't know. Last time I heard it was LGBTQ. Now it's IA, and I just haven't taken the time to look because I'm like, well, damn, what else is on the spectrum?
They're gonna have to add
plus.
They're gonna have to add after the plus. They're gonna have to put PM for pick me, because that's a new one. They gave me pick me now, so you got to add PM.
And you know what? A lot of times people like the newness of introducing stuff. I was talking to a young lady and she identified as something. She said that she can't like anybody until she starts liking them. So she doesn't know. I said, if you're confused, damn, I'm confused. Don't give me another damn term to learn. Yeah. Because I am so not interested in who you liking or who you in bed with.
Like speaking to Hope Giselle yesterday, you know, I think like Lauren, you just made a very valid point about the South. So you can't send a highly educated vernacular person to the South that don't speak that to teach them about trans. You have to give, just like with the police. It's called what was it called? Not defund the police. What was the other thing? Reform. You have to put somebody who speaks my language for me to understand what you're saying to me. So if I need Keisha to come explain it to me in the hood because I'm going to understand it from Keisha, then that's what it is. But if I'm in this high-end Peel Hill area and Mr. Bartholomew comes to teach me his way and that's the way I understand, then that's what I understand. You keep trying to use these big words and all these different terminologies on people who don't even understand. It's either you got to ABC it in order for some people to understand it, or they're never going to understand it. And y'all don't want to ABC. Y'all want to use all these big-ass terms and create some new shit every day, including pick me. Baby, we can't keep up. How the fuck y'all gonna keep up?
That pick me
vocabulary does not equal education. Vocabulary does not equal
not at all. That's what I'm saying. I can tell you the same. I can tell Lauren her house on fire. Bitch, your house on fire my way. Or I can go Mr. Tolliver. Oh my God, there's an altercation on your block and there's a house that's burning and we think that it's yours. When it could have been real simple. Bitch, your house on fire. Call 911.
Thank you.
Or you can say, Molly, you in danger, girl.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Thank you. But I think people are intrigued by it because you have the spotlight now. So it's like, let's make it more complex because complex is better. Just like big words are better, or the more you pay for the item makes it better. And really, it's BS. I think people are mirroring you because you are smart. Mm-hmm. And so before they embrace your smartness, it's looked at as a weapon or some sort, because you kind of bleed in on, you don't really have to act like that. You know, you just stand up for who you are. Well, you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's a good point, though. I think that's a good point, TT Janet, to say it simply. You don't fit into society's box. You don't.
My fat ass can't fit in no box. I'm too fat.
You don't fit into the societal norms of what a person of the LGBTQ experience should be. Right. And because you don't, all these people hate you.
Right. And they think there's room for everybody, but clearly not.
Do they hate me?
Yes.
Do they hate me?
According to them comments, a lot of people hate you. Yeah.
Hate on me, hater.
We'll hate on you Friday night on PBS.
Cause you're gonna do me. Don't be mad, baby.
To hide behind the computer. That's what that is.
Here's the kicker. Friday, I will be on TBS with Tiffany Haddish on Friday Night Vibes with her and Dion Cole. And I'm sure this is going to come up again. Ooh. And from Dion's perspective, y'all better understand that the question that nigga going to ask me, I probably need to be with God because I'm going to give it to him straight and give it to him raw.
That's going to be good. That's gonna
hate from your couch with your popcorn and your activism.
That's going to be good. I'm drinking for that. I'm drinking.
I might have me a cocktail too, Jen. And y'all know I don't drink.
You don't drink.
You don't.
So the last thing I'm going to bring up, and I'm going to keep TT and Mark on, is what do you guys think about the baby and that he was finally allowed to perform back in a public space at a main festival at Summer Jam in New York
And yesterday. He apologized.
He had a whole public apology as a part of his set. And I looked at the comments. Everybody was like, he's not canceled. How many times does he have to apologize? Right. We love New York for being trendsetters. And it seems like he's back in the fold. You know, he might have taken a couple L's, but he's back. So what do y'all think?
And I love it. I mean, like, you know, I didn't know him before, but I mean, I follow current events. He did apologize publicly to a crowd in real lifetime. I thought that was wonderful. In talking about being humble, he thanked them for giving him the opportunity. You know, everybody doesn't have to cut off their damn leg. Yeah. You know, I've misspoken, I've misjudged, and I've stood up and wrong. You know, when you wrong and you think you right, you be like, I don't give a fuck. Well, nobody said. That's what I heard. And I was wrong. But that doesn't mean tear me down to my soul. Yeah. So that's all I got. I thought it was wonderful, Lauren.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally, I don't think, because again, I don't know him that well. I think he made a song about social justice or policing. That's the only song that I know.
That was Little Baby. We talking about Da Baby.
The
two different people. Two different people, Mark.
Look, I don't know who he is. Oh shit! Look, I don't even know who he is either. So all I will say is that, look, if you want to support him, support him. People are always going to have fan bases. They're always going to have an opportunity to have a platform or a space. And it is what it is. If you don't like him, then don't watch him. I said that from the beginning. If the comments didn't apply to you, why were you so butthurt about it? So at the end of the day, if he's making his money, that's awesome. He's making an impact on people. And it's really, if you don't like him, then continue not to support him and mind your damn business like I'm doing.
You know what I appreciate about it? That it was so soon. You know, we hold on to grudges for such a long time, but we can be forgiving. And I love the fact that he came out. Somebody gave him another opportunity, and and he didn't pull a Sha'Carri Richards. And I hate to use this as a comparison, but he didn't jab him because here's the other side of what could have happened with all the takeaway from him. He could have became angry and embittered and went on a rampage to shoot gay people because it looked like it was the gay people that went after him to cancel him mostly. But he didn't. Somebody must have gotten in his head or talked to him because he's a young man and like, dude, you still can salvage your career. Let's fix this.
No, not somebody. The nice white people who put on the concert. Thank you, white people. He made them a promise. He didn't hit that ooh-wee, and he didn't drink nothing, and he went out there and spoke from his heart.
Well, thank God.
Is Summer Jam run by white people?
The money, I'm told.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I love the fact that they've given him an opportunity so soon to salvage his career because they were willing to take away everything so quickly and not teach. Don't reprimand me and don't teach me. I understand a reprimand. Reprimand me. When I'm wrong, reprimand me. But then teach me something. Y'all can't. Here's the thing. With the Lil Boosie picture, y'all can't reprimand me because I ain't did shit wrong. I took a picture as a fan with a celebrity. However you took that picture into your DNA or into your constitution, that has absolutely nothing to do with me. Understand, I'm going to say this publicly on my platform. I will never apologize for taking a picture with Boosie. There is no need for me to. Yeah. There is no need for me to.
It was your community that came after him. You know what I mean? As they came after Sha'Carri. So I think the hot buttons need to relax some more.
Y'all ever notice how we come after our own folks faster than we go after other folks?
Say it one more time, Lauren.
Y'all ever notice how we come after us first before we go after the other folks?
Well, here's the irony. The excuse was the reason they were so upset and come after Boosie. Sorry, I'm fucking up the names. They come after it's because black women don't get the same grace. But they attacked Sha'Carri Richardson for things that she. So it's like you can't have it both ways.
Honey, wait till y'all see the interview. I said on the interview, I'm gonna give y'all an early tidbit. If I would have went on the Breakfast Club in 2019 the very first time and said everything perfectly that my community wanted me to say, word for word, verbatim, if it was on the paper and I didn't go off topic at all, guess what? It still would not have been good enough for them. Someone would have found fault with me anyway. That's why I embrace this nigga right here, because I love this nigga that's talking to y'all right now, and he know who he is. I know who I am. I'm going to ask you that, to go look in your mirror and ask yourself, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are?
You better say it. Yeah. You better say it.
And I got a fan. If you don't know who you are, ain't shit wrong with me. I just look like this.
Wait, that one says no bitch.
Okay, no. Bitch, well, y'all already know. Y'all see that picture? Look at me laugh. I'm laughing at you hoes. $25. You can laugh with me. $25. $20. No. We thank you guys. Thank you, Mark. And thank you, Jan. We appreciate your points of view. We're going on for another year, and we thank you guys for staying with us.
Happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be working with Stephen Colbert. I'm gonna put these titties on Stephen Colbert.
Oh, Lord.
Then start the fun so I can build mine up. I love you guys.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Mark. Flamettes, we appreciate you all. Thank you for joining us. Listen, the interview comes out tomorrow on the Breakfast Club.
Make sure y'all watch it.
Make sure you watch it, and you judge for yourself what you think. And because what I did not do was go off the cuff, because my manager, this heifer right here, and Miss Claire in San Mateo, along with some of you other Flamettes, Bobby, Miss Jess, Jan, was like, Flame, you can't always give them what they want. Sometimes you have to remember that there's a bigger fish to fry. And I did remember that there was a bigger fish to fry. You're judging me off of a picture that you haven't even seen the interview. Baby, I don't know what to tell y'all.
And honestly, it was almost like I was giving you back your own advice, because you always tell me, even when I started doing Laugh and Learn with you, you were like, Lauren, don't look at them comments. Yeah. I still look at them anyway, but you were like, if you look at them, don't internalize them.
Yeah.
So same thing with you. Don't feed into the negativity. And I'm glad that you didn't for the interview. You had the interview how you wanted to have it. And it was productive. And you felt great.
And I look lovely. Did y'all like my blouse?
It was very cute.
Get your tickets for September the 6th for the White Party with a Splash of the Rainbow on eventbrite.com/flame. We have changed the venue. Yes, your tickets, if you bought your tickets already, they are still very valid at the new spot. We just moving to a bigger place because we oversold the place. Secondly, what else? Oh, DC Comedy Loft, September the 9th through the 12th. Go to DC Comedy Loft, get your tickets. September the 25th, I'll be in Philly at the Level Up Bar and Lounge. Get your tickets at eventbrite.com. Level Up Bar and Lounge. Understand me. Let me tell y'all this. I am very comfortable being who I am, and I try to make even when I'm live on stand up doing for my hour, I always say my job is to make that I'm so comfortable with me that I make you comfortable being you watching me. Because my job is not to change who you are. I don't want to change you or your man. That's the thing here on Laugh and Learn. We just want you to think for yourself, and if you think with the groups, you will be stuck with the groups. But if you're an individual critical thinker and you love you and you appreciate how you feel and you trust your own opinion, your own mind, I'm telling you, you will fly and soar in this life.
And I can't think of a better way to end the show. So
yes, it is. At Laugh and Learn, we're not trying to do what?
We're not trying to get you to change your mind. We are simply trying to get you to use your mind, because why?
Some of you bitches ain't got one. Some of y'all just lost. Let me just say this shit out loud. Some of y'all ain't. No, we will be doing Love Lounge tonight, ladies and gentlemen, from between 6:30 and 7 right here on Instagram Live. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate you here at Laugh and Learn, that we are going on for another year. Kendall, are you joining us for another year?
Yeah, of course.
Hey, you ain't got a choice. No, I'm just kidding.
So we are going to be very excited. We do want you guys to inbox us your ideas for what you would like to see us do for the next year, because we just want everybody to find your voice and find your passion. And you might agree with everything somebody says, and you might not. But do you agree with everything that you say?
Well, I think too that's important is this is a community podcast.
It is.
This is for the community.
It
so
is. Y'all like my lipstick liquid burn?
So anyway, so you can follow me on Instagram at Lauren Armani H, as well as on YouTube. I'm Lauren Hogan, and I post all of our Laugh and Learn episodes there. Flame, where can everybody find you? Say everything except Twitter.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, and I would like for you guys to stop subscribing to my YouTube channel. We've been at 47.2 thousand for months, but you all go in there and watch it, but don't subscribe. Just subscribe and like. It's free. Please, so we can get the numbers up if possible. You can follow me right here on Instagram at Monroe Flame, and you can follow me on Facebook at Marcus Flame Monroe Parker.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. Please watch the Breakfast Club interview, and you judge for yourself what you think.
It drops tomorrow.
And remember that I am a comedian, so some of my stuff is comedy, but there's always a lesson under my comedy if you're taking the time to listen to what I'm saying and not what you want to hear. This is Flame Monroe. This is Lauren Hogan. This is Laugh and Learn with our boy Kendall. We appreciate you. We thank you, Flamettes. I'll check in with y'all later. Peace.
Laugh and Learn is a production of the Black Effect Network and iHeartRadio. Our executive producer is Tiffany Haddish. The show is produced by Tribble. Our theme music is by Chrissy Payne.